Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The Washington Commanders made a decision that caught many by surprise, giving veteran cornerback Noah Igbinagene a last-minute reprieve ahead of the cut-down deadline. Just hours before rosters were to be finalized, reports suggested the team was actively seeking trade partners for Igbinagene, creating widespread speculation that the veteran's tenure in Washington might be ending abruptly. Fans and analysts alike debated the move, considering Igbinagene's performance last season, where he transitioned from a rotational corner to taking on more critical responsibilities in the nickel package. While he showed occasional struggles against the run, his overall consistency surpassed expectations, especially when measured against past first-round picks who had yet to establish themselves in the league. The mere fact that trade talks were occurring so close to the deadline amplified the drama, leaving supporters and observers questioning whether the Commanders were undervaluing a player who had quietly become a dependable piece of their defensive backfield. Igbinagene's situation highlighted the razor-thin margins in NFL roster decisions, where strong training camp performances can be overshadowed by broader strategic considerations. Heading into the preseason, the cornerback impressed coaches with his work ethic, adaptability, and ability to contribute in multiple defensive alignments. The Commanders' depth at cornerback was undeniable, featuring a mix of young talent and experienced veterans. But injuries are inevitable in football, and having a reliable understudy like Igbinagene could prove invaluable once the regular season begins. Fans expressed both confusion and frustration on social media platforms, arguing that the team seemed to undervalue his proven ability to step in during high-pressure situations. Analysts noted that while the Commanders' defensive unit appeared solid on paper, contingencies were crucial, and Igbinagene's versatility made him a strategic asset, especially given the volatility of NFL rosters at this time of year, where one injury can alter team dynamics overnight. Despite the uncertainty, the decision to retain Igbinagene reflected a careful weighing of positives versus negatives by the Commanders' leadership. General Manager Adam Peters and head coach Dan Quinn ultimately had the final say, guided by considerations that may not have been immediately visible to fans or commentators. The coaching staff's assessment likely factored in Igbinagene's ability to fill multiple roles, his prior experience in starting scenarios, and the potential risks of leaving the roster thin in critical positions. While keeping him offered immediate stability, the broader context suggested that the cornerback's future remained in flux, particularly if the team received external trade offers or felt pressure to make adjustments to maximize playoff potential. The narrative around Igbinagene thus became a microcosm of the NFL's high-stakes environment, where talent, timing, and strategy converge in ways that leave both fans and players on edge. The trade speculation surrounding Igbinagene drew parallels to previous roster maneuvers, notably the case of defensive tackle John Ridgeway III. Last season, Ridgeway faced intense rumors about his potential departure just before the cut-down deadline, creating uncertainty around his status. The Commanders ultimately retained Ridgeway temporarily, allowing them to negotiate trades without losing leverage, and he eventually moved to the New Orleans Saints. The situation with Igbinagene mirrored that strategy, as keeping him on the roster could provide the organization with negotiation flexibility if trade interest emerged later. While fans might see this as indecision or drama, from a managerial perspective, it reflects a deliberate approach to asset management in a league where timing and perception significantly influence trade value and team composition. The comparison highlighted the consistency in the Commanders' approach to managing talent under pressure. For Igbinagene, the reprieve was both relief and reminder that stability in the NFL is fleeting. Peters' stance on trades emphasized that the cornerback would not leave unless his valuation aligned with the team's strategic goals, reinforcing the idea that performance alone does not dictate roster security. Even with strong preseason showings and evident versatility, the player's fate remains linked to broader organizational priorities, including depth management, potential trades, and readiness for playoff contention. This creates a delicate balance between recognizing individual contributions and pursuing team-wide objectives, a dynamic that defines professional football at its highest level. Fans' admiration for Igbinagene's skills coexists with the understanding that roster decisions are far more nuanced than simply rewarding past effort, illustrating the intersection of merit, strategy, and timing in the NFL. The Commanders' decision-making process underscores the precarious nature of roster management in the league. Hundreds of players face release annually, while others secure spots only to be shuffled shortly after due to waiver claims, trades, or injuries. For veterans like Igbinagene, the stakes are heightened, as their experience makes them valuable yet also positions them as movable assets in strategic planning. His ability to adapt to multiple roles, contribute in special teams, and serve as an insurance policy for more prominent starters enhances his worth, but it does not guarantee permanence. The situation emphasizes the business-like reality of the NFL, where decisions are driven by evaluations that combine performance, potential, financial considerations, and timing, leaving players and fans alike navigating uncertainty while rooting for stability and success. From a fan perspective, the narrative surrounding Igbinagene is a reminder that talent is only part of the equation. Observers noted that his preseason efforts, work ethic, and positional flexibility painted a picture of a player who could contribute meaningfully throughout the season. Yet the specter of trade rumors, front office maneuvering, and the relentless pace of NFL evaluation creates tension between perception and reality. Supporters may celebrate the reprieve, but the underlying awareness remains that one roster adjustment, injury, or strategic decision could quickly alter the equation. Igbinagene's case illustrates the fine line between job security and uncertainty, demonstrating that even experienced players must continually prove their value, adapt to evolving circumstances, and remain prepared for rapid shifts in fortune. Strategically, retaining Igbinagene allows the Commanders to maintain flexibility in their cornerback core, ensuring that injuries or performance lapses do not immediately compromise defensive integrity. While the team projects strong starters, depth is crucial, particularly in a league where short-term setbacks can derail long-term objectives. Analysts have suggested that the cornerback's ability to play in multiple positions, coupled with his prior starting experience, enhances his role as both a stabilizing figure and potential trade chip. By keeping him, Peters and Quinn preserve options, whether for future roster moves, emergency substitution needs, or negotiating leverage, a pragmatic approach that balances immediate utility with potential long-term advantage in a league governed by constant evaluation and calculated risk-taking. The ripple effects of Igbinagene's retention extend beyond the player himself, influencing locker room dynamics, team morale, and fan sentiment. Veterans who see teammates retained despite trade speculation may interpret it as a signal of organizational fairness or calculated strategy, while younger players observe the tangible consequences of performance, adaptability, and timing. Fan engagement, in turn, reflects a mix of relief, curiosity, and scrutiny, as supporters try to reconcile preseason impressions with roster realities. The Commanders' handling of this situation exemplifies how individual personnel decisions intertwine with broader organizational narratives, shaping perceptions both internally and externally, and creating ongoing storylines that drive discussion, analysis, and investment from all corners of the football community. Ultimately, Noah Igbinagene's reprieve illustrates the duality of opportunity and uncertainty that defines the NFL experience. While avoiding a cut offers temporary relief, it also reinforces the understanding that the league operates as a high-stakes environment where decisions are driven by strategy, timing, and perceived value rather than sentiment alone. His performance, adaptability, and past contributions provide leverage, but the fluidity of trades, injuries, and roster adjustments ensures that stability is never guaranteed. For the Commanders, the choice reflects a calculated effort to balance immediate roster needs with long-term flexibility, demonstrating the intricacies of team management in a league where every move carries both potential reward and risk, leaving fans and players engaged in a continuous narrative of suspense and anticipation. As the season approaches, Igbinagene's status will continue to be a talking point, serving as a lens through which to view the Commander's strategy, roster management philosophy, and broader organizational priorities. Fans are left to monitor developments closely, weighing preseason performance against trade rumors and front office maneuvering. The NFL's unforgiving calendar ensures that no decision is permanent, and even those who make the initial 53-man roster face ongoing evaluation. Igbinagene's reprieve, therefore, is not just a moment of individual relief, but a reflection of the calculated, often unpredictable decision-making processes that define professional football. His journey embodies the tension, drama, and relentless pursuit of excellence that make the NFL compelling for both players and fans alike, with every roster move carrying stories of ambition, risk, and resilience. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The sports world is buzzing tonight with what can only be described as one of the most unexpected and dramatic moves of the NFL offseason. Jalen Hurts, the dynamic quarterback who has become synonymous with the Philadelphia Eagles' resurgence, has reportedly closed a deal with the Washington Commanders, sending shockwaves through both franchises and fan bases alike. Insiders suggest that the negotiations were intense and shrouded in secrecy, with little warning to the public, which has fueled speculation about the reasons behind this sudden shift. Some believe this move is purely strategic for the Commanders, who have struggled to find a long-term solution at quarterback, while others wonder if Hurts himself is seeking a fresh challenge or a new environment to solidify his legacy. The ripple effect of this rumored transfer is already being felt, as social media explodes with reactions ranging from disbelief to excitement. Analysts are now racing to break down the potential impact, wondering how this move could reshape the NFC landscape. The Eagles, having relied heavily on Hurts' dual-threat capability and leadership, are reportedly exploring contingency plans, which may include trades, draft maneuvers, or a reshuffling of their offensive strategy. Rumors suggest that Hurts' contract with the Commanders could be among the most lucrative in recent NFL history, reflecting both his on-field prowess and marketability. Fans are eager for any confirmation from team officials, though neither the Eagles nor the Commanders have released official statements, which only adds fuel to the speculation. This move, if finalized, might trigger a domino effect of player trades and free agency shifts, as other teams react to Washington's bold acquisition. Meanwhile, media outlets and sports talk shows are framing this as a blockbuster move that could define the next chapter of Hurts' career. Everyone seems to agree on one thing. The NFL offseason just became infinitely more intriguing. Reports suggest that behind closed doors, the Commanders' front office worked tirelessly to secure Hurts, who has emerged as one of the league's most electrifying quarterbacks over the past few seasons. His ability to combine a strong arm with unparalleled mobility has not only led to impressive individual stats, but has also transformed the Eagles' offensive scheme into one of the most dynamic in the NFL. The possibility of seeing Hurts bring that same energy and innovation to Washington has fans and pundits buzzing about a potential offensive renaissance. Sources close to the situation indicate that Hurts' decision to sign with the Commanders may have been influenced by the team's coaching philosophy, player roster, and the promise of building a contender around his skill set. While some critics are quick to question whether this move is too risky, insiders argue that Hurts thrives on challenges, and the Commanders' situation might be the perfect stage for him to demonstrate leadership under pressure. Meanwhile, Eagles fans are reportedly in shock, with forums and social media platforms flooded with both sadness and outrage, as the departure of a franchise cornerstone rarely happens so abruptly. Speculation abounds regarding who the Eagles might turn to as a successor, with names from both veteran free agents and promising draft prospects being tossed around. Betting markets have also reacted to this rumor, with odds on the Commanders' season suddenly shifting in ways that suggest Hurts' presence could elevate the team's championship prospects dramatically. Meanwhile, NFL analysts dissect every potential scenario, from offensive formations to chemistry with wide receivers, predicting how Hurts' unique skill set will integrate with the Commanders' playbook. Even former players are chiming in, praising Hurts' work ethic and hinting that this move could redefine not only Washington's season, but also the league's competitive balance. The combination of secrecy, strategy, and star power has made this rumor an irresistible talking point in the sports world, capturing attention far beyond just NFL circles. Whispers around the league suggest that Jalen Hurts' transition to the Commanders could trigger a seismic shift in how teams evaluate dual-threat quarterbacks. emphasizing mobility and decision-making under pressure as key traits for modern NFL offenses. Pundits argue that Washington's decision to pursue Hurts so aggressively signals a commitment to immediate contention, highlighting the importance of investing in elite talent rather than slowly rebuilding through drafts and minor trades. Observers are already debating how the coaching staff will adapt existing schemes to fully utilize Hurts' unique abilities, particularly his skill in executing plays outside the pocket and making split-second adjustments. Meanwhile, speculation is growing regarding the locker room dynamics, as veteran Commanders players reportedly have been briefed on the incoming superstar, with sources suggesting that morale is high and excitement palpable. Conversely, Eagles insiders suggest that the team is now facing a crossroads, having to consider whether to prioritize drafting a potential successor or leveraging cap space to bring in experienced talent to fill the void left by Hurts. Sports media have latched onto this story with fervor, running 24-hour coverage and social media threads analyzing every aspect of the rumored deal, from contract incentives to potential performance bonuses, feeding the frenzy among fans. Analysts are particularly intrigued by how Hurts' leadership style might influence Washington's offensive cohesion, as well as how opposing defenses will adjust to counter his dynamic playstyle. Meanwhile, fantasy football communities are abuzz, recalculating projections and speculating on Hurts' impact in a new system that could yield both surprising highs and challenging adjustments. The narrative surrounding this potential move has quickly evolved from a rumor to an almost cinematic storyline, full of drama, strategy, and the ever-present tension of NFL speculation. Betting agencies, sports blogs, and podcasts are all weighing in, highlighting how such a high-profile acquisition could redefine the league's hierarchy and inspire similar moves in the near future. Sources close to both teams hint that contract negotiations were intensely strategic, with multiple agents and front office executives engaged in back-and-forth deliberations. It's suggested that the Commanders' willingness to accommodate Hurts' vision for offensive schemes was a decisive factor in swaying him away from remaining with the Eagles, who had previously indicated strong intentions to retain their quarterback. Sports insiders speculate that Hurts' move could be driven as much by personal ambition as by financial incentives, aiming to cement his legacy as a transformative player capable of elevating a franchise to championship contention. Some analysts are projecting that Hurts could redefine Washington's offensive identity, bringing a fast-paced, unpredictable element that makes the team both thrilling to watch and difficult to defend against. Social media platforms are reportedly flooded with reaction videos, memes, and fan theories, each trying to interpret the reasoning behind this rumored blockbuster acquisition. Meanwhile, sports betting lines and predictions for the NFC East have shifted dramatically, signaling that Hurts' potential presence could dramatically increase the Commanders' playoff probability, affecting team perception and league rankings. Observers are also discussing the long-term implications, wondering whether this move will encourage other teams to pursue top-tier quarterbacks with similar aggressive strategies, potentially triggering a wave of off-season trades and negotiations. Meanwhile, Eagles supporters are rumored to be organizing forums and online discussions debating whether the franchise can maintain competitive momentum without its dynamic leader. As speculation grows, sports shows are planning extended coverage, including hypothetical scenarios, interviews with former players, and tactical analyses of how Hurts could integrate into his new team. The intensity of these discussions highlights just how significant this potential shift could be, not only for the teams involved, but for the entire NFL landscape, making the rumor almost impossible to ignore. Rumors also suggest that the timing of Hurts' signing was meticulously planned, potentially coinciding with other league developments to maximize both strategic advantage and media impact. Insiders hint that Washington may have leveraged knowledge of other teams' draft intentions, free agent pursuits, and cap allocations to make an offer that was both irresistible and strategically timed. Analysts have begun to break down how Hurts' arrival could influence not just the Commanders' roster, but also the tactical adjustments of rival teams, who may now need to recalibrate defensive schemes to account for a quarterback with both passing accuracy and explosive rushing ability. Fans are reportedly torn between excitement and disbelief, as the idea of seeing Hurts leading the Commanders is both thrilling and unsettling for those accustomed to his tenure in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, speculation abounds on whether this move might inspire new offensive philosophies across the league, potentially influencing coaching decisions, draft strategies, and even the development of young quarterbacks inspired by Hurts' skill set. Sports talk shows have already begun debating the broader implications, from team chemistry to merchandising opportunities, and from ticket sales to fan engagement metrics, all of which could shift significantly with the rumored acquisition. Observers are particularly fascinated by how Hurts' leadership style, known for balancing confidence with humility, will mesh with a new roster, potentially creating a dynamic locker room atmosphere that contrasts with his previous environment. The tension surrounding the rumored deal has grown so intense that it seems to dominate nearly every sports-related conversation, from casual fan forums to expert analytical panels. Meanwhile, media speculation suggests that even minor contract clauses or incentives could have a huge impact on Hurts' motivation, gameplay, and relationship with the coaching staff, further fueling curiosity about the intricacies of this rumored blockbuster. Social media reaction has reportedly reached viral levels, as fans share hot takes, draft predictions, and scenarios involving Hurts' potential debut in a Commanders uniform. Industry insiders hint that the Commanders' management team has reportedly been working for months behind the scenes to assemble a roster that could complement Hurts' multifaceted style of play, targeting both speed and versatility in receivers, running backs, and offensive linemen. Some sports pundits speculate that this acquisition could signify a larger cultural shift within the organization, aiming to transition from inconsistent seasons to a contender mindset under Hurts' leadership. Meanwhile, Eagles strategists are rumored to be evaluating multiple contingency plans, including trade options, scouting alternatives, and coaching adjustments to compensate for the potential loss of their star quarterback. Social media communities are abuzz, debating whether the Commanders' offensive approach will evolve into a high-octane, read-option-heavy scheme or retain elements of traditional pocket passing to balance Hurts' dual-threat tendencies. Analysts are also forecasting how this rumored deal might impact salary cap strategies, draft priorities, and long-term team building, as franchises navigate the delicate balance between immediate success and sustainable growth. Fan speculation is intense, with forums and podcasts dissecting every leaked detail, from potential jersey sales to playoff projections, reflecting the enormous cultural and financial implications of Hurts' potential arrival. Meanwhile, sports journalists continue to chase leads, interviews, and unnamed sources, piecing together the puzzle of this high-profile acquisition and framing it as a potential turning point in both the Commanders' trajectory and Hurts' career. Observers highlight how Hurts' presence could inspire younger players across the league, reinforcing the growing emphasis on athletic versatility and mental toughness as key attributes for NFL quarterbacks. Rumors even suggest that the move could influence the wider NFC East competitive dynamics, potentially pressuring rival teams to adapt or risk falling behind. Meanwhile, analysis is ongoing regarding how Hurts' on-field intelligence, combined with his ability to read defenses, might catalyze immediate improvements in scoring efficiency, third-down conversions, and red zone productivity for Washington, further intensifying interest in this rumored blockbuster. Fans and analysts alike are questioning how Jalen Hurts' arrival in Washington might affect not only team dynamics, but also the league's narrative for the upcoming season. Experts speculate that Hurts could become a central figure in redefining the Commanders' identity, emphasizing speed, adaptability, and precision. Rumors suggest that the organization may be tailoring its offensive schemes specifically to maximize Hurts' strengths, creating an environment designed to amplify his performance while fostering team cohesion. Observers point out that this strategic focus could extend beyond the field, influencing training regimens, recruitment priorities, and even marketing campaigns aimed at leveraging Hurts' star power. Meanwhile, Eagles fans are reportedly experiencing a mix of heartbreak and frustration, as the potential loss of a franchise cornerstone creates uncertainty around team performance, leadership continuity, and long-term strategic planning. Sports media coverage has intensified, with television networks, online platforms, and social media channels all exploring every conceivable angle, from contract implications to locker room chemistry. Analysts are also forecasting how Hurts' dual-threat capabilities could alter the Commanders' game-day strategies, emphasizing mobility, play-action passes, and improvisational decision-making in high-pressure situations. Meanwhile, league executives are rumored to be closely monitoring the situation, recognizing the broader impact this move could have on competitive balance, player valuation, and team-building philosophies. Fans are debating whether Hurts' signing signals a short-term push for playoff contention or a long-term commitment to sustained success. Meanwhile, sports bloggers and podcasters dissect every rumored clause, performance incentive, and potential side effect, further fueling the whirlwind of speculation surrounding this blockbuster move. The intrigue surrounding Hurts' potential debut in Washington continues to dominate NFL discourse, creating an atmosphere where anticipation, curiosity, and strategic analysis intersect in a perfect storm of sports drama. Industry whispers suggest that Jalen Hurts' rumored move to the Commanders could set off a domino effect across the league, as teams reassess their quarterback situations and adjust offseason plans accordingly. Analysts speculate that this acquisition might inspire rival franchises to make bold trades, pursue high-profile free agents, or accelerate draft strategies to remain competitive in the evolving landscape. Sports commentators are debating how Hurts' presence could force opposing defenses to rethink their schemes, highlighting the potential for innovative strategies, increased blitz packages, and specialized coverage designed to neutralize his dual-threat impact. Meanwhile, fan communities are overflowing with predictions, from game outcomes to statistical projections, reflecting a deep fascination with how this strategic addition could reshape the league hierarchy. Insiders hint that Washington's front office may be focusing not only on Hurts' on-field talent, but also on his leadership qualities, emphasizing character, work ethic, and the ability to inspire teammates as key drivers in the team's potential resurgence. Analysts also suggest that Hurts' experience in high-pressure playoff situations could prove invaluable, providing the Commanders with a competitive edge in crucial late-season matchups. Meanwhile, Eagles insiders are rumored to be exploring multiple contingency scenarios, balancing immediate performance needs with long-term franchise sustainability and considering both rookie talent and veteran acquisitions as possible replacements. Sports media coverage continues to amplify the narrative, with podcasts, talk shows, and online forums dissecting every aspect of the rumored deal, from tactical implications to fan sentiment, generating a 24-hour news cycle centered around Hurts' potential transition. Observers are particularly intrigued by how this acquisition could affect the NFC East, as other teams are forced to respond strategically to a newly formidable competitor. Meanwhile, social media debates swirl around projected stats, leadership impact, and potential playoff scenarios, creating a continuous buzz that underscores the significance of Hurts' rumored signing with the Commanders. Rumors circulating from credible sports insiders suggest that Jalen Hurts' potential arrival in Washington may herald a complete offensive transformation, with playbooks being redesigned to exploit his agility, accuracy, and improvisational skills. Analysts speculate that coaching staff could implement schemes emphasizing quick reads, option plays, and high-tempo drives, giving Hurts ample opportunity to leverage both his passing acumen and rushing ability. Fans are reportedly buzzing with anticipation, sharing mock game strategies, fantasy football predictions, and debates over how the Commanders' receiving core will adapt to a quarterback of Hurts' caliber. Meanwhile, Eagles supporters are grappling with the shock of potentially losing a franchise cornerstone, sparking discussions about succession plans, draft priorities, and long-term team-building strategies. Industry insiders hint that the Commanders may have structured the deal to include performance-based incentives designed to motivate Hurts while aligning with team objectives, though details remain tightly guarded. Sports media outlets have dedicated extensive coverage to the rumored signing, analyzing potential impacts on league dynamics, NFC East competition, and playoff projections, further fueling public interest. Analysts emphasize the dual-threat element as critical, predicting that Hurts' presence could force opposing defenses into a constant state of adjustment, altering coverage schemes and defensive personnel decisions. Meanwhile, betting markets are responding rapidly, with odds adjusting to reflect Hurts' hypothetical influence, creating a ripple effect across the NFL landscape. Rumors suggest that locker room culture could shift dramatically, as Hurts' leadership style fosters accountability, confidence, and adaptability among teammates. As speculation grows, Social media continues to explode with reactions, fan theories, and memes, illustrating the cultural and sporting significance of Hurts' potential move. The narrative of a superstar quarterback changing franchises in dramatic fashion is capturing imaginations, making this rumored signing a central talking point across the league and beyond. Speculation suggests that Jalen Hurts' rumored signing with the Commanders could serve as a blueprint for future NFL quarterback acquisitions, emphasizing not just raw talent, but adaptability, leadership, and the ability to perform under pressure. Analysts believe that Washington's aggressive pursuit of Hurts signals a shift toward building around elite players rather than incremental team development, highlighting a broader strategic trend in professional football. Meanwhile, fans are intensely dissecting every rumor, from playstyle compatibility to potential chemistry with wide receivers, creating a near-constant dialogue across social media platforms, blogs, and podcasts. Industry insiders indicate that behind-the-scenes negotiations were meticulous, with both parties reportedly evaluating team structure, coaching philosophy, and long-term objectives to ensure alignment before any formal agreement. Analysts are predicting how Hurts' unique skill set could transform Washington's offensive strategy, potentially emphasizing mobility, improvisation, and situational awareness in ways that challenge traditional defensive schemes. Meanwhile, Eagles management is rumored to be weighing alternative strategies to maintain competitiveness, considering both rookie talent and veteran acquisitions as potential responses to losing a franchise quarterback. Sports talk shows have extensively explored potential playoff implications, projecting scenarios in which Hurts' presence could push Washington into contention while altering the broader NFC East hierarchy. Betting markets are reportedly adjusting odds, reflecting both confidence in Hurts' abilities and uncertainty over team adaptation to his style. Social media continues to amplify the rumor, with fans sharing mock lineups, fantasy projections, and strategic breakdowns, further fueling the narrative. Meanwhile, sports analysts are debating the intangible elements, including leadership, resilience, and locker room influence, all of which could define Hurts' impact beyond statistics. Rumors suggest that the Commanders are positioning themselves not merely as a team acquiring talent, but as an organization ready to compete at the highest level with Hurts as a focal point. Reports suggest that Jalen Hurts' rumored transition to the Commanders could dramatically alter the competitive balance of the NFC East, sparking a series of strategic adjustments among rival teams. Analysts argue that Hurts' dual-threat abilities, combined with his experience in high-pressure playoff scenarios, could make Washington a formidable contender, forcing opponents to reevaluate defensive tactics, draft priorities, and overall roster construction. Meanwhile, Eagles fans are reportedly engaged in heated debates, discussing potential successors, draft strategies, and long-term franchise sustainability in light of Hurts' potential departure. Sports media outlets are capitalizing on the frenzy, producing endless segments analyzing hypothetical plays, contract incentives, and locker room chemistry, feeding the public's appetite for insider knowledge. Industry insiders hint that Washington's aggressive pursuit reflects a calculated approach, aiming not only to enhance on-field performance, but also to elevate team morale, fan engagement, and brand perception. Analysts speculate that Hurts' signing could inspire innovative offensive schemes, emphasizing improvisation, option plays, and rapid decision-making to exploit defensive weaknesses, potentially setting new benchmarks for quarterback performance. Meanwhile, betting markets have reportedly adjusted in real time, reflecting heightened expectations for Washington's season prospects and playoff potential. Social media is abuzz with projections, memes, and fan theories, illustrating the cultural resonance of this rumored acquisition. Observers highlight the strategic intricacies of integrating Hurts into an existing roster, balancing talent, chemistry, and adaptability to optimize outcomes. Rumors suggest that locker room leadership, communication, and accountability may evolve under Hurts, further amplifying his influence beyond tangible statistics. Analysts also speculate about long-term effects on league trends, from quarterback valuation to team-building philosophies, underscoring the magnitude of this blockbuster rumor. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.